Hey everyone!
You're listening to Teens Take the Mic.
We're two high school students sharing the ups and downs of being second-generation immigrants.
So, high school just ended, freshman year. How was it, Phoebe?
It was good. I definitely learned a lot through the experience.
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
Yeah, like transitioning from middle school to like high school, it was just like different. Like I thought it was gonna be like not that big of a jump, but it was like kind of big.
I found myself like staying up till 1 sometimes just to like study or cram for a final, midterm test.
Yeah, in middle school, like I like didn't even go past midnight, but now there's like in high school there was so many times where I just stayed up super late and I was like super tired.
And it's just so much harder to get like good grades now. Like I feel like I had such perfect A grades in middle school, and now I'm like fighting to get like an A minus even.
Yeah, and like even like I care so much more about grades now, and it's harder to get grades, so it's just like this constant cycle where it's like I have to work harder, but when I'm not getting like the results I expected, it's like not motivating.
Yeah, no, like literally.
And like all high schoolers or like freshmen going into high school, they have this pressure of like, oh, I need to do super good, and they all experience this change. But for second-gen immigrant teens, there may be this additional factor that makes like this jump more challenging for them. Their parents not really having that information that other parents do have to help them along the way, and they may feel like a lot less supported.
Yeah, no, like I feel like kids also during the summer times, their parents, especially if they're like from the US or know how the US education system works, they know like, oh, what summer programs you have to be doing to get into that good college and major that you want. But for second-gen immigrant teens, you don't know like what summer courses you should be taking or what you should be doing to prepare for your next school year. So it's harder.
Over the summer, like especially, you kind of really have to like work hard, and you can't really wait when the school year comes, or like even in the school year you can't really just go with the flow. You kind of have to like prepare ahead. Like I know in middle school sometimes I would just like I didn't really have to study at all actually. Like in math I would just like I like barely took notes. I like didn't do anything to prepare, and I still got good grades. And also like for second-gen immigrant teens, having like not knowing what resources to have or like what summer programs to do or what you can do to like excel in high school can be like a problem for a lot of people.
Especially if you don't have like a counselor, you know, like I know so many people who don't even have a counselor, but then there's like all these kids who are not second-gen immigrant teens, and they already have their whole 4-year high school track planned out for them, based from their like parents' past experience, knowing what works, what doesn't work. But a second-gen immigrant teen has to do it also like on the go, like
on their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of second-gen teens, they have to take the initiatives because like there's not someone there to guide them. And I think that, like you said before, it's like helpful for someone to have like a mentor or just someone to guide them along the way so that they know what's happening. But a lot of people, they don't really know they can have like
these type of things.
Yeah. And like even though like the guidance counselor, like school guidance counselor is available, they might not like access them or go to them for this type of thing. And like even in high school, it's like gets really competitive, and like having like this goal to like get into like a top college can be something that everyone's like thinking about. And so not everyone shares like what they're doing, so sometimes you can't really ask like your like friends or your peers like like, oh, what are you doing over the summer? Like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Yeah, it's like you kind of have to like go out of your way to like find something, because your parents might not know, your like people in your school might not want to tell you, so like what are you gonna do? Like
there's a lot of kids actually, especially if you go to like a magnet or specialized school, there's gonna be so many kids who gatekeep from you just because you're their competition. They don't want you to excel or succeed. But we need to all be there and like help support each other. And we're here to share resources with you guys.
Yeah.
And you were talking about expectations, I think. Yeah. So there's so many expectations out of a second-gen immigrant student to like not just like do well in school, but you're doing it for a purpose because your parents worked hard. They're immigrants. They came here probably for a better life than you already had. So that pressure is also built up on you, along with getting good grades and then also just fitting in school. Because just being a second-gen immigrant teen, in our earlier episode, we talked about some differences. Like, I talked in British English for a while in second grade, and some people pointed that out. But there's just so many differences, and that's just, like, built up on you.
Like, maybe kind of hard, like, when you're going to school, because there's, like, different social and cultural norms. Like, for example, I remember in 4th grade, like, my 4th grade teacher told us, like, she had a student that, like, wouldn't look at her in the eyes at all because in Japan it was, like, disrespectful to do so. So, like, there's, like, a lot of times where we kind of, like, in school, especially, like, if you want to fit in, there's, like, some things that you kind of have to put aside that you, like, do at home.
That's interesting. I actually never knew that before. So, moving aside from that, we can talk about personal experiences we had in this topic. So, do you want me to share first? Or?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so there's this math competition called the AMC, which I had never known about until 8th grade, so last year actually. So I had 2 friends, and they're both not second-gen immigrant teens, and it was homeroom, so we had like 15 minutes or so before we went to lunch. So I was just finishing my work, and I overheard them talking about the AMC. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. They're talking about like a math competition. I've never heard about this before. So I went up to them and I was like, oh, what's the AMC? And they were like, oh, you've never heard about this? And they were like talking about it as if like everyone knows about it. And I was like, no, I never heard of it. And they explained to me what it was. But if I was like not in that homeroom, if I was not lucky enough to just hear them, I would have never known about the AMC. And many people probably do know now, but that the AMC, it's like a math competition that you can use, like if you do really well on, you can use that on your college resumes, which look really good for like any Ivy League or just any college in general. So that resource, like, I didn't even have that before until I found out by luck, which is not what we really want second-gen immigrant teens, or like any teen actually, just to feel.
So like, that reminds me, I was going to say something else, but I'm going to say this before I forget. So, like, before high school, like, I didn't really know the importance of, like, competitions. And so, like, now I'm, like, more aware of, like, certain competitions. And not even, there's, like, a bunch of competitions out there for, like, so, like, if you're a second-gen immigrant teen and you don't know anything about competitions, there's, like, a bunch of resources online. There's not only, like, test-taking things, but it's also, like, research competitions, or, like, it's kind of, like, there's, like, this competition that kind of reminds me of, like, STEM fairs. There's, like, a bunch of STEM fairs you can do if you're interested in STEM. And there's just, like, so many things out there that you can access if you know about these things. And some second-gen immigrant teens don't know about these things. Like, I was, like, completely unaware of this.
No, there's, actually, there's this website. I'm going to tell you guys right now. It's called findecs.org. And basically what basically what Phoebe was saying, there's, I actually also found that out by chance on Instagram. I was just so bored, and I was like going through my reels, and I was like, oh, do you not know what to do over the summer? Find these extracurriculars you can do. And I was like, oh my God, that describes me perfectly. So this website, basically it has every extracurricular that you can do over the summer, and not just the summer, you can do like year round. There's math competitions, STEM competitions, physics, comp sci, medical, everything that you would need based on what major you want to take. And this is like a good early start you'd want to take, especially in your freshman summer year, sophomore summer year.
And also, like, not even just online, like you said before, like Instagram. I think that's, like, a super good tool. Like, a lot, if you have, like, access to, like, social media and, like, YouTube and things like that, there's just so many channels online or pages online that can help you. And so I was just on Instagram, and, like, before I, like, never really used Instagram for, like, educational stuff. But, like, now I follow so many, like, things, like, college things and things like that. So, like, there's this, like, one Instagram page, like, Limmy Talks, and it's, like, he, like, just talks about, well, he reviews a bunch of, he reviews a bunch of college things, And just like, not even college, there's like things like preparing for the SAT and other and APs. There's like the AP Bio Penguin teacher thingy. That's like, I think that's like, a lot of people use that. And there's also like this AP History YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, there's like,
I've heard about that.
I think it's like something like court. We'll find it. But see, these are the things you need to find by luck. Like, you're not gonna have like a website that gives you all these resources, or like a parent who'll be like, oh, use this for math, use this for science, use these tutoring places for that. You need to figure it out on your own.
And like, I know like for me, my parents, they're not really on top of my like schoolwork as they were in elementary and middle school. I think that's something that's really different in high school that second-gen immigrant teens might have like challenges with, because like, I know my parents, like, they both majored in something science related in college, but like, and they understand it obviously, but now like, I don't really go to them for help in like bio and things like that. But like, when I do, like, I used to like ask them so many things, and they can help me with math and everything. And then in science, like, it's not that they don't really know science, like, it's not that they don't know the information, it's just that like, they don't know the certain terminology. Like, they would know how to say certain elements in Chinese but not how to say in English, so it's like hard to communicate with them, hard for them to help me even though they know what it is.
They probably have like a similar education style earlier years, because I also have a similar experience, because my parents they knew like the math I was learning, but like maybe not the world literature or the history things that we're doing. But as you like go advancing in your classes, there's like different topics, different curriculum, different like even methods in solving problems that like your parents wouldn't know how to do. Like,
wait, that actually reminds me of something that my parents were talking about earlier, but I'll keep that story for next time because we don't want this episode to get too long. So, okay, also like, since it's sophomore year for us, we're gonna move on to season 2, and it's like, I know it's not really that ideal for us to have like 2 episodes only in one season, but this is just because like,
we can probably push out another episode by the end of like July, August.
Yeah. Or like, does the summer count as sophomore or freshman year?
We could say the summer freshman. No,
because like, but it's okay because we just So yeah, we're just gonna keep season 1 with 2 episodes, and we're just gonna be excited for season 2 because we're gonna work so hard on it, and we're just like sophomore year. We know we started like kind of late into freshman year, so we're sorry that we only have 2 episodes, but there's gonna be so much more to come, and especially as we start getting closer to senior year, and it's gonna be like, we're gonna push out a lot of episodes, and especially like during the actual application process, we're just gonna go through like, like what we're worried about, what we're working towards,
full in depth.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to hear anything, you should definitely tell us what you want us to talk about. And if you guys want to be a guest speaker on our podcast, share your own experiences with us, just fill out the form on our Insta.
Thank you for listening to season 1 episode 2 of Teens Take the Mic.
See you next time.